If you are looking for horse nutrition advice, here are 3 things that you should do before you ask for help. So many people reach out to an equine nutritionist or maybe a feed representative or somebody from a feed store, and they ask for nutrition advice for their horse, but they don't know these 3 things. And here's what you should do before you go asking someone for help, because anyone who knows anything about equine nutrition is going to start by asking you these 3 questions. So let me get into them. The first thing that you should do before asking for any nutrition advice for your horse is to know the weight of your horse. Knowing the weight of your horse is going to be paramount. Very, very important to any nutritionist's advice. So based on how much they will tell you to feed your horse in forage or feed or whatever it might be, that is going to be the basis of what they are going to give you. So what you're going to do is go to a co-op and ask them if you can scale your horse. You can take your trailer empty and then full through a co-op if you're too embarrassed to just lead your horse up to the scale. You could do a weight tape. That would be the most simple way that you could get a weight of your horse. However, that is not always completely accurate. Most weight tapes have about 100-pound variance there. So getting the weight of your horse is the number 1 thing to do before asking for advice. The number 2 thing that you should do before asking for nutrition advice is to know the weight in the pounds and the amount that you are feeding your horse. So when you go to ask for nutrition advice, do not say, I feed 2 flakes. 2 flakes means like telling someone that you need a piece of string. How long is a piece of string? You tell me. 2 flakes might be 6 pounds in some instance. It might be 17 pounds in another instance. There are different size bales, different compaction levels of balers, and different products, all different kinds of things. So know the weight of what you're feeding in forage. Know the weight of what you're feeding in feed. So if you've never done this, get a postal scale like you would weigh your mail, or get a fishing scale. So you can Google or Amazon a fishing scale, and it'll come with a little hook, and you can put that bucket on a hook. The third thing you should do before asking someone for nutrition advice is to know the daily requirements that your horse needs. So if your horse is young, or your horse is very old, or your horse is in training, whatever it might be, look up the daily requirements for that horse and check it to what you're feeding. So if you don't know how to do this, of course, go to seek nutrition advice. But a lot of people will be feeding a great forage. They will be feeding a great feed, but they just need to feed more. Maybe their horse is in training, or their horse has a fast metabolism, or something similar to that. They just need to feed more pounds of what they're feeding. And this goes back to the second thing, which is weighing your feed or weighing your forage and knowing how much you're feeding there. So that would be the third thing, is to know your daily nutritional requirements of your horse, and protein, fat, carbohydrates, calories in general. Just knowing how much you are feeding and knowing if you are meeting those nutritional requirements.